In this video, we will introduce jQuery Ajax Example Part 1. Now for this lesson, we're going to be reviewing code that I've already demonstrated. Remember that Ajax is not a single technology, rather, it is a collection of concepts and technologies that allow richer, more interactive user interactions with web applications. In order to understand Ajax, we have to understand these technologies. In a previous lesson, we demonstrated a shopping cart that searched for products. You might have noticed that the screen did not refresh, but that the products faded in. There was no reloading of the page. We used Ajax and its technologies to retrieve our products. Ajax stands for Asynchronous JavaScript and XML, which is a mechanism used to launch a synchronous HTTP request to a server using JavaScript. Don't let the name fool you. There's no restriction on you only retrieving JavaScript or XML from this technique. You can quite happily return other data formats such as HTML, plain text, and JSON, to list a few. Now let's look at a basic example of some of these technology. First, let's take a look at JSON, which stands for JavaScript Object Notation and is a data transfer format. It's a lightweight and convenient method to work with many languages, especially in JavaScript. JSON is a combination of the array and the object literal notation. Here I have my items JSON open already. Looking at our JSON, first notice that our data is in name-value pairs. Name-value pair consists of a field name in double quotes followed by a colon followed by a value. So here I have my double quotes, my colon, and my value. So for example, product ID is the name and 1 is the value. Data is separated by commas, and JSON values can be a number like an integer or floating point, a string in double quotes, a boolean, an array, and an object. So here I have my name value pair again, just title and Bruce Lee. Notice the curly brackets that I have. JSON objects are written inside curly brackets. Objects can contain multiple name value pairs. So here I have an object separated by a comma, and then I have another object. Now, JSON arrays are written inside square brackets. An array can contain multiple objects. Because JSON uses JavaScript syntax, no extra software is needed to work with JSON within JavaScript. So with JavaScript, you can create an array of objects and assign data to it. So our array is here. And then inside of our array, we're holding multiple objects. So remember that we use the square brackets to signify an array and the curly braces to signify the objects we have in our array. Now we're going to take a look at our data servlet. Now our do method handles the Ajax search and returns the items in JSON. So the first thing we do is read in this items.json via our relative web path. Here we read our file into memory and keep it in a string. We prepare our response, set our headers. We use the MIME type for JSON text, which is application JSON. The file type for JSON files is JSON. Now our post method handles the add to cart. The first thing we do again is we make sure that the session is available and we add our basket and new item. And the most important part to pay attention, if our session is not available, we redirect our user to the login. We use JSON to pass the value back to our Ajax client. And we pass back the value of redirect consisting of a 1. Again, I prepare my response. I set my content type to application JSON. And now notice this line of code. So in our doPost method, which handles adding an item to our cart or basket, we send back the basket number and the application name via JSON. Notice how I use the double quotes for the names portion of the value pair, and I also escape it for Java. In our next lesson, we're going to look at the glue which makes the actual Ajax call. And this concludes our discussion of jQuery Example Part 1.